Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Samantha and this is Planted. I'm back after a long break. I think the break wasn't even that long. I think it was like 2 weeks or something. But unfortunately, I was not well and I just needed to take the time to recover. I might still have like a little cough. So if you hear a little cough, I'm not contagious. You can stay. You can stay. Don't leave me. So I'm really excited because today I'm going to give you guys an update on that Monstera that I chopped up, and we're gonna just try to see if we can pot it up in my little clear nursery pots and do a little chit chat, okay? So let's get to it. Guys, I gotta put you on to something. It is called the Crazy Cakey Cloning Paste by Southside Plants. And when I tell you this is life-changing, it changes the game for all plants, you know I wouldn't lie to you. So what is Crazy Cakey Cloning Paste? It's a group of hormones that stimulates the plant, and what those hormones do is just reproduce that leaf. So say your plant lost some leaves and you're just like, dang, like I'm never gonna get that leaf back. This cloning paste can actually bring back that leaf. So the jar that I have is all like beat up, a little shattered, and definitely used. Okay, definitely, hold on. Definitely used because it works. This Crazy Cakey Cloning Paste is awesome. It comes with these little cotton swabs, Q-tips, whatever you want to call them, and you just dip them into this cloning paste and you put it on your plants to clone the plant. What? They not only make this Crazy Cakey Cloning Paste, but they have leaf shine, they have fertilizers, they do specialize a lot in orchids as well, so there's something for every kind of plant. I really love this company. When I first bought this, I bought this like a couple years ago, and I used it on a pothos, I used it on a raindrop peperomia, and it worked. It literally worked. Like, I'm still shook to this day. So if you are interested in buying this Crazy Cakey Cloning Paste, I have a discount for you. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. The discount is 10% off of your entire purchase using my code PLANTED. And remember, PLANTED with a V. And it's all caps. So PLVNTED. And it is for 10% off your entire purchase. I'm telling you, go get you some of this. Go get you some, and don't say I didn't tell you. And when it works, remember who put you on. Okay? All right, let's get back to the regular programming. All right, so I have my Monstera that I chopped up, and here is the update on the roots. They look so good. They look so good, so healthy. And this was like, I didn't even change the water. Maybe I changed the water once, but I don't really remember changing the water. Honestly, no, I didn't change the water actually. But the roots are really long and healthy. And so when it comes to propagations and roots in water, you want to try to pot them up once the roots have like gotten pretty strong, about like an inch or two. If you're really planning on putting them in soil, it's best to kind of get them in soil right away after they've reached at least, like I said, an inch or two. The reason why is because after a while, they'll be in the pot or the container in the water, getting used to the water. And then once you put them into soil, they're gonna go into shock because they haven't been in soil. Like where you cut has not been in soil, it's been in water this whole time. And so it will experience shock regardless, but the longer you wait, the more struggle you might have with the plant of getting it acclimated into the soil. So I'm gonna just give you guys some tips and tricks on how to make sure that after you have them all rooted up beautifully like I do, you just have like successful plants. So I'm really excited because these are gonna look so cute in their new pots. I'm thinking about giving some away. I'm thinking about maybe selling a few like locally to friends and stuff. And then I have an update on another Monstera. So in my last video, I said that I struggle to get Monsteras to fenestrate. Like I have this one Monstera that's so beautiful, and I had like a new leaf coming in, and this leaf has fenestration. I did it. I did it. And the trick is fertilizer. Period. Fertilizer. I'm telling you. Fertilizer is key. Ever since, and it's so sad because like you would think I would know that, and I always knew fertilizer was helpful, but I'm always like, I always get so lazy about plants, like when I'm watering them at least, like I get a little lazy. And so when it came to putting it in fertilizer or putting fertilizer in the plant, I was just always like, meh. But I have been using this fertilizer by Foxfarm, and it's amazing, and I have seen so much new growth on all of my plants, so I'm very, very happy. But okay, let's get started on this Monstera repot, or not really repot, but like potting up the propagations. Let's get started. All right, so we're gonna get started. So first, I like to have a nice bowl here with some soil. So the soil that I use is by Foxfarm. So I take some soil and I put it in this bowl, and that's just gonna make it easier to have some soil that's already pre-mixed and ready for potting up the Monsteras. And then I'm going to grab some Perlite. There we go. Oh, there we go, all the Perlite. And this shovel just comes in handy, so I'll just shovel up some Perlite into here. I like my soil mix very aerated. It makes it easier for the roots to get air, which is required other than just water and sun. But definitely love this Perlite because it's really helpful for aeration. And then I have that pot from the time that I took all the Monsteras out. And this pot has a lot of orchid bark, which I found was really helpful for it. So I'm gonna steal some of that orchid bark from this pot. There's nothing wrong with the soil, so I'm gonna steal a little bit of it just to give it a tiny bit of chunkiness. I love orchid bark because it also helps retain moisture, just so the plant doesn't dry out too much. And I have noticed that the Monstera was drying out a lot in that terracotta. So for the repot, or really potting up the cuttings, I'm going to just be using my clear nursery pots that I like to use. So I'm gonna stir up this soil just to see if like my ratio is on point. I don't measure, as you can see, I just kind of use visuals. I think it looks okay, but I think it could use a little bit more Perlite. So the Perlite that I use is like a nice blend between coarse and fine, which I like. I don't like when all the Perlite is super coarse and chunky like that. I like when it's a little more broken up. But yes, Perlite, I love it. All right, so now that we've mixed up our soil, I'm going to get my nursery pots. The nursery pots that I'm going to be using are my clear nursery pots. So I have some here, and they're like about like a 4-inch or so. I believe, yeah, these are the 4-inch pots. So I'm going to be using some of these, and if I really have to use the 3-inch pots, I will. But the reason why I'm using such small ones is because I'm basing the size of the pot on the size of the roots. I don't want to go too far up in a pot because I've noticed that sometimes my plants will focus more on trying to fill out the space. So it'll focus more on root development rather than leaf development. And so I'm going to try to make sure I don't give the plant too much room, so that way it focuses more on leaf development. All right, so I completely forgot that I was supposed to be using my mat. And this mat that I got it from Amazon, and it's just really helpful for potting up plants and trying to keep your surfaces clean. And it has these raised sides so things don't just like spill out. Like they have been doing this video because I forgot to use it. So I'm gonna take these pots. I'm gonna take this first one and I'm gonna just add a little bit of soil to the base, probably a little bit too much soil. And this is how much, about like an inch and a half or so, or an inch and a quarter. And then I'm gonna just take out my Monstera leaves or stems or props and just kind of like check which ones would fit. So I think that this one is still this pot is a little too small for this big one right here, I think, because the roots I think would just like immediately take over this pot. But then again, I'll think about it. I'm gonna hold off on this Monstera cutting. I want to focus more on Monstera cuttings that have shorter roots. Something like this might be okay. The only issue that you run into sometimes is having the plant feel supported. So I might have to use some staking methods here to make sure they stay supported. So I'm gonna just take all the cuttings out of the water, and I just need to have a moment for these roots. Let's just take a moment for these roots. Beautiful, like literally gorgeous. All right, so I've picked out the ones that are good to be in a smaller container. So I'm gonna start with one that I think can actually go with another one. So I have this little one, if you remember from my previous video, and this one. So these are really small and have a lot of potential because of the roots. And same with this one. So I'm gonna actually just group these three together and put them in this pot. So I'm gonna move these aside for now so we can focus on this. So let's zoom in here. So I have my pot, and then I'm gonna go ahead and place these on top just to gauge how much room I have. So when I look into the clear pot, it looks like I can actually add a little bit more soil. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and place these in here. And the best thing to do right now is to try to see which way they are growing. So that way when they grow, they kind of grow all in the same direction. So if I do need to like stake them in the future, they're not all pointing in different directions. And then I'm gonna take more soil, hold the plant in place. I'm struggling with my words today. Hold the plant in place. Do that. And then I'm not gonna push down the soil too much because I don't like when the soil gets compacted like that. And that is our first little cutting that's pot up. It's so cute. All right, so I showed you how to do that. And then now I'm going to put it aside because I'm gonna water all of them at the same time. And I'm gonna speed up this video and we're going to see me potting up the rest. All right, guys, so they are all potted up and they look so good. So I have them in this like clear tray to just drain off. And if you're wondering like, oh, where'd you get that clear tray from? So there's this thing at the grocery store. Let me stop. No, but if you go to the grocery store and if you ever like buy those aluminum pans that people will use for like gatherings and stuff to put their food in, they sometimes sell these lids, and I just keep the lids because they come in clutch, like for a situation like this where I need to drain my plants. So this is just like, you know, top-notch recycling, if you want to call it that. I'm a little sweaty because this was a lot of work. I'm really excited though for how these are gonna turn out. So as for the watering, what I did was I top watered them, and the reason why I top watered them for like this situation is because I want the gravity to push down the soil and naturally compact it to help the cuttings stay in place. You're gonna see like some of them are kind of like leaning a little bit, and that's totally normal. As they get acclimated into the soil, they might straighten up just a little bit, especially if you're giving it light from the top down. I just realized my mic is not connected, so if my audio is weird, that's why. Let me stop. Hold on, and I'm sweaty. Give me a second, I need to go wipe my face. Okay, a lot better. I was sweating a lot and I needed to like just like wipe my face for a second. But yes, so if you give it light from the top down, it'll also help it stay growing upwards. The plant is just naturally going to lean towards wherever the light source is. So if you have light coming from different directions, depending on where the strongest light is, it's gonna lean towards that way. So I'm gonna put this directly under a grow light just so it can get really acclimated into this soil and help the rooting process. So I'm really excited for how these are going to turn out. Like I said, I think I'm gonna give some of them away just because like I have a lot of Monsteras now. And I have a few more that didn't get potted up because I ran out of the clear nursery pots, so, or at least the larger ones. So I'm getting some in tomorrow and I'm gonna pot those up as well. But I did get most of them done and I'm really excited. So yes, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I forgot to put my mic in the camera again. But it's okay. Like I said, if the audio is a little weird, I'm sorry. Or if it's not even that much different, great. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for all of your love and all of your support. And I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Stay tuned. Love you guys and bye. Happy planting. All right, so the beeping is gonna get me. It's gonna get me. What? There it is.